Union Congress registering their displeasure with the proposed hike in utility tariffs by the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission. They're not happy about it, and they say they will take drastic action if government goes ahead with it. But then joining us via Zoom is the Executive Chairman of the Food and Beverages Association of Ghana, FABAG, Reverend John Awuni. Reverend, thank you so much for your time. We know earlier you had also raised some concerns about this proposed hike in prices, but PURC says that it needs to, this is part of a regular review it does, so it's understandable if it has to review prices upwards. Don't you think that it makes sense to do so, based on what PURC is saying?
Good evening and to your viewers and to your listeners. With all humility, I would say that it makes absolutely no sense. You only come out with a solution to a problem when you think that that solution will serve sustainably to handling that problem. But a solution that has been preferred, handled over and over and over the years, and has never worked, cannot be a solution that you will have to bring in when you are required to do so. Why do I say so? The issue of tariff increment has been applied by every government in this country from His Excellency John Ajay Kufuor's era, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama's era, John Atta Mills, and Nana Addo, and currently His Excellency John Dramani Mahama's era. They have all increased tariffs. And where do we stand? We are still standing on the path of tariff increment, as if Ghanaians are already not paying enough tariffs. The fact is that Ghana is among the top African countries, or among the countries that pay higher commercial and industrial tariffs. When you compare what we pay to even Europe, we are still very, very high. And that speaks volumes why Ghanaian goods continue to remain very expensive. We are also saying that it makes no sense when an institution that is demanding more revenue from the people yet cannot demonstrate that they have the ability to collect even the revenue that they have been given.
Rev,
the Bible says that if the foundation be destroyed,
we've seen some improvement. We know just recently was announced that the ECG has been able to increase its revenue collection by some 90%, I believe. On the other hand, also, there's the issue of the fact that treating water now has become quite expensive due to the issue of galamsey. And this increment that we are seeing right now is based on both capital expenditure and operational expenditure. So it's not just about operations, but the fact that they need this to be able to operate and supply us the utilities that we need. Don't you think that there's a place to at least cut them some slack, at least?
I totally disagree with the fact that they have improved revenue collection by 90%. That is, with all due respect, I think there's a complete lie. The revenue collection as of last year was 43%. When I started at my institution, Food and Beverage, we started making an advocacy for ECG efficiency and sent petition and to His Excellency the President and to all over. Then Parliament also started making the Parliament Public Accounts Committee also started. Then they came out to talk about the fact that they had improved revenue collection. Why don't they come out to the Ghanaians and demonstrate who and who they collected that money from, how they arrived at the 90% from 43%? What about the technical and commercial loss of 32% that they have always handled? 32% commercial and technical losses makes them among the top in Africa. So they are not performing well. Their revenue collection rate is 43%. As we speak now, most ECG staff will confirm they don't even have three-phase meters to distribute to customers. So assume you want a three-phase meter, you cannot get it. Single-phase meters behind the doors, they are selling it to people at 4,000, 3,000 cedis. So point is, an institution that has overrun its expense by about 700%. Their expense in 2023 ballooned from 1 billion to 8.3 billion. They overspend their budget by 189% without even board approval. Is that a struggling institution? Is that an institution that needs support? The losses, the mismanagement, the inflation of expenses, it cannot be wiped under the carpet of tariff increment. This institution needs help. We are not saying that tariffs should be reduced or tariffs should be increased. We are saying that a continual fetching of water and pouring it in a leaking bucket can never get that bucket full. So ECG and the water company require to be restructured, required to be looked into the face and tell the workers, most of them, that they cannot continue to privatize the institution and hold government, and for that matter, the people of Ghana captive. ECG inefficiency is a cancer in the development, in the economic development of this country. And we cannot sweep it under the carpet of higher tariffs. We can't tax our way out of inefficiency. We can't tax our way out of mismanagement and massive losses. Which institution can continue to collect, go and buy?
Okay. I think we're having some challenges with Reverend's connection, but we also have Benjamin Sia. Rev, please hold a sec for me. We also have Benjamin Sia, Executive Director of the Center for Environmental Management and Sustainable Energy. Semse, I'm sure at least you appreciate where the utility service providers are at the moment and the relevance of this adjustment in keeping them afloat, or you have a contrary opinion?
Thank you very much. I think that based on the regulatory practice, I think I will support PRC in coming out with this particular tariff increment because that is their mandate to ensure that utilities are able to expand and then meet various targets within such a specified period, which is from 2025 to 2030. And these endorsements are made from various requests from these utilities. Some of them needed in excess of 250%. Some of them needed in excess of 190%. Some of them needed 80%. But using a weighted method, I think that the regulator has decided to impose 9.86%, which I think that is quite fair. But the challenge is that the utilities themselves have exposed their weaknesses to the media and public, especially when various reports have indicated that anytime they get these adjustments, they don't utilize these revenues efficiently. And they are not very cost effective in terms of revenue utilization. And I think that will create a lot of mistrust in the minds of public when it comes to some of these increases. And that is why my brother on the other side was mentioning a lot of mismanagement by these utilities. So when you expose yourselves to the public and then PRC comes to say that we need to adjust some of these tariffs upwards to benefit the utilities, I think that it becomes a question of practicality and understanding because already we know that when these increments are done, they may not yield set targets that we expect them to yield. And these are also practically in history. For example, if you look at 2018, when this multi-year tariff order was announced, there was an increment in the first month of 2019, which is the first quarter of 2019. However, just after the announcement of the multi-year tariff, we realized that in the year 2019, system losses ballooned from 24% to 30%. And until recently, that it came down to 27%, which is as at 2024. It has always been high. And these are huge monies, in excess of $600 million. So when the report, the evidence shows that you've not utilized our resources well, anytime PRC comes to say they want to hear some or they want to implement some increment, I think that people will feel agitated. And that is one side. On the other side also has to do with the consumer welfare in terms of either the firm as a consumer or the household as a consumer. We all know that at the household level, using the GLSS data, which is the Ghana Living Standard Survey data, we spend almost 15% of our household expenditure on utilities, which includes electricity. So the more you increase these tariffs, the more it affects our ability to consume other consumables within the household structure. And it is also likely going to have a trade-off in terms of our ability to save. So such increment could also affect our ability to even move out of poverty, especially those in the what we call the lowest quintile or the lower income bracket. They are likely going to be pushed into what we call energy poverty, and affects them a lot. And middle class, especially the informal middle class, that normally use electricity to sell pure water and other soft drinks on the street. They are likely going to be affected by this particular arrangement. And also firms, as my brother from FABAC and other institutions that wants to be very competitive on the international market, very competitive on the local market, to be able to sell their products either locally or outside our republic, may also have a challenge in terms of their cost of operation. So agitations will come in.
Interesting, but I'll come back to you, Reverend. We've seen how stable power has been this year, especially even after we introduced this 1 cedi levy on fuel to help finance the operations of some of these electricity issues. Wouldn't you say that indicates that paying a little more would ensure constant supply? So let's cut them some slack. Maybe this will mean even more stable supply going forward.
Yeah, I think that has been the position of
Ben, please hold on. I was referring to Reverend. I'll get back to you shortly.
Very much. I wouldn't say that my point is that we are already paying very high. So the tariffs are already very high, making Ghanaian goods uncompetitive. And I'm saying that the challenge that ECG have is not the challenge of low revenue. Their challenge is that they are totally inefficient. If that inefficiency is not fixed, and you continue to increase tariffs, then what it amounts to is that you are applauding impunity.
Aren't you being too hard on them? Because this is a utility service provider that has ensured that you have a regular supply of power all year round. Now also, they've showed us that they've been able to increase their revenue collection by about 90% over the last couple of months. Doesn't it just give you an indication that at least they are getting things right, and maybe we should be a bit more patient with them?
90%, they need to come out and tell how they arrived at the 90%. They got the 90%.
Okay.
I challenge them. They need to come out and
let me give you the specifics just to clear the air. So the ECG has seen an average monthly revenue rise from 900 million cedis in 2024 to 1.7 billion cedis in 2025. Almost 90% increase, thanks to the full compliance with the cash waterfall mechanism. So at least you've heard it there. As of last year, they were doing 900 million. 2025, they are doing 1.7. So they've seen an about 90% increase in their revenues. So something seems to be working. So wouldn't you
if they get that, why are they asking for increment? You see, power security is defined as power not only being available, but power being affordable. As it is now, Ghanaians are moving into the realms of unaffordability of power. If you look at the level of earnings of the average Ghanaian to the level of power consumption, how much the fellow pays for bills, for water, for electricity, then it is becoming a very insecure commodity, a commodity that is not readily affordable. The tariffs are already very high. And I'm not saying just this in isolation. You need to compare it to other countries, other regions, and you understand that our tariffs are already very high. And that is why Ghanaian goods are very expensive and cannot compete with foreign goods. My point is, if we don't seal the leaking bucket and you continue to increase tariffs, indeed, since the beginning of His Excellency John Mahama's government, January, tariffs have been going up. It's not the first time. Tariffs have been going up. And what have we gotten ourselves into? There are too many prepaid meters in the system that are not working. People are consuming power for free. ECG people directly, and some of them, some of the workers will even cooperate with the citizens to consume power free. We all have cases. We live with them. We know exactly what is happening. So we are not saying that PURC is wrong in adjusting tariffs upwards or downwards, but we are saying that that is not the clear solution at this point in time. We need to look at the face of the ECG and the water company and then make them more responsible. But not that we continue to increase that day, because they know that no matter how they utilize our money, anytime they come back, they will ask for tariffs to be increased. We will increase it, because otherwise they will threaten us with lives off.
Okay, fair point.
That is holding us to captive.
Benjamin, you seem to side with PURC on this expected hike in prices, in utility prices. But in your assessment, would you say ECG has turned a corner with at least the conservative, positive indicators we've gotten this year so far?
So I'm not siding with PURC, but I think that it is their constitutional mandate. They are established to always review tariffs or review the expenditure of various utilities and decide how much it will benefit these utilities. So I'm not siding with it. I think they just implemented, or they just evoked one of their mandates in terms of ensuring this particular multi-year tariff order announcement. Now, with respect to your question, I have a problem when parliamentarians, or a parliamentarian says that we've increased revenue by about 90%. I think that sometimes it's misleading because we need to critically look at the data. For example, if someone says in December 2024, revenue mobilized by ECG was around 900 million Ghana cedis, there's a bit of untruth because one, that was the revenue that was declared in the cash waterfall mechanism. And two, it might even be that was the revenue that was paid to beneficiaries of the cash waterfall mechanism. And there are various reports from the PricewaterhouseCoopers. There are other reports sanctioned by the state itself through the Auditor General's Department or Office that has come to say that these utilities were under declaring revenue by almost about 2 billion a year. And that means that about 300 million Ghana cedis was under declared each month. So if you take the 900 you mentioned earlier and then sum or add the under declaration to the cash waterfall mechanism and underpayment, which is about almost 400 to 500 million, it means that the utilities as at December were mobilizing in excess of 1.4 billion Ghana cedis. So if anyone is receiving maybe 1.7 billion Ghana cedis as at August, it might be adjustments made because of the increment in tariff, because cumulatively we've increased tariff by about 18%, which comprises of the first, second, third, and then fourth quarter. So it is not 90%. I think that conversation is somewhat misleading to the public, and we need to critically look at the data again. We can't use revenues as declared in the cash waterfall mechanism to be conclusive that the utilities were mobilizing 900 million. That is an untruth there. We need to look at the data. Now, two, I also think that in as much as I will endorse PURC because they are just following their expected mandate or embarking on their expected mandate, I think that as a country, we need to critically look at our regulatory and pricing of electricity. I believe that, as my brother said, electricity is overpriced in Ghana because we are paying it on electricity as well as paying it on petroleum. Because as we speak, we are paying energy sector levies and debt repayment levy, also energy sector recovery and debt repayment levy. We are paying that in excess of 1 Ghana cedi 95%, all for the power sector. Aside that, we are paying other levies through the ESLA, all for power sector. So whilst we are paying for the power sector, we are also being asked to pay cost reflective. So we need to look at the cost components, what is making our electricity tariff that expensive, and we need to address those issues. And most of the times we mention distribution, but they could also come from generation because there are certain contracts that we've signed that do not yield to the benefit of the Ghanaian electricity consumer.
Interesting one there. But, earlier today, the minority in parliament held a press conference to also register your displeasure with this announcement. We'll take a look, a watch at that and then come back to you. Yeah, so we are going to share with you a video from the minority in Parliament.
This year, you get $80 to $90 million losses. Why does the government ignore this reality and instead impose measures that further impoverish Ghanaians? Instead of fixing the system, the government has chosen the lazy path of shifting its failures onto already sovereign consumers. This will completely wipe out the meager 9% wage adjustment for 2026. Consequences, if the government does not listen to the call to withdraw the tariff hikes, they are going to cause: 1, escalating utility poverty, leaving more families unable to afford basic electricity. 2, collapse of SMEs, which form the backbone of our economy due to unbearable operating costs. We are already experiencing a teeming unemployment youth in the country. Job losses as industries scale down or shut down operations. 4, reduced productivity and competitiveness, further weakening the economy. And then 5, heightened social and economic hardship, deepens the suffering of workers and households. These tariff hikes are not reforms, they are punishment. They are not solutions, they are symptoms of failed leadership and poor policy choices.
You heard the minority in Parliament clearly not happy about this proposed increment in utility tariffs by the PURC. We have joining us by phone Ghana Union of Traders Association rep. Chief, tell us about what you make of this announcement. Where does Guta sit with this?
And to your viewers. In fact, the lead that we'll be expecting is to talk about tariff increments. Because we are in a country that what we are trying to do and that we are advocating for is to make an environment conducive and competitive to the Sub-Saharan African country when it comes to cost of doing business. If we make mistakes and we accept any increment, it means we are going to outrun businesses by 25.75% in terms of cost of doing business. That will make nonsense of single inflation. That will make nonsense of reduction in policy rates. And that will mean that cost of doing business will go high by 25.75, cumulative tariff increment from the electricity and that of water. It also means that the disposable income of the other Ghanaians will also be depleted by 25.75%. That's all we are looking for as businesses. If PRC cares to know, and they are looking for capital investment to ensure operational efficiency, it can be achieved when they ensure that financial malfeasance, riches in procurement, are checked and proper corporate structures are put in place to ensure that no one decision to other things that we don't need now. What happens to the report that the energy ministry audit? The personnel were cited. What have been their punishment? Why should we always be at the losing end when people mismanage and they renege on their responsibilities? We want to leave a legacy as businesses that have built an economy for our children to pick up. They should not accept this to collapse businesses. And you really put it. Unemployment is high because government is not employing. The only option for our teeming youth to get employment is when the private sector is thriving. And that is done by getting a conducive environment. That's ensured by conducive environment in terms of tariffs, in terms of interest rates. But if government is doing all these things and you counterproduct it with an increment in tariffs, you are setting this country for doom. And you know, unemployment is a security concern. We should not accept this. They can also look at how they can increase their revenue mobilization by introducing technology that can monitor meters they are deploying in certain communities. And with a certain projected revenue that they should be able to raise from those communities, they can check where there are revenue leakages. But if you don't have proper technology to monitor revenue expectation, how will you measure leakages? I think it is time PRG also take up and ensure that the utility players are doing what is right for the benefit of all Ghanaians.
All right. Thank you so much. That was Charles Kusi Apia. He is the head of the Business and Economic Bureau at the Ghana Union of Traders Association. You're still watching Business Focus here on TV3 with me, Michael Obodu. We'll go for a quick break. When we come back, we'll bring you more. Please stay with us.
Panic, but if you're
Masquerades are scary, but bills shouldn't scare you. Be one of 10,000 lucky winners when you deposit multiples of 400 Ghana cedis or take a loan in multiples of 4,000 Ghana cedis to win up to 1.5 million Ghana cedis in cash and prizes, 1-year insurance cover, and more. Tap into Vi.
Welcome back to Business Focus here on TV3 with me, Michael Obodu. Now, the company formerly known as Metropolitan Insurance has officially announced its rebrand, changing its name to Emple Ghana. Well, this strategic name change marks a significant step for the company as it seeks to reposition itself in the market. The rebrand to Emple Ghana is expected to signal a new corporate vision and identity, reflecting the firm's future focus and strategic direction. To help understand the issues, our Executive Director of Emple Health Insurance Ghana Limited, David Leonard, and Head of Corporate Alternative Distribution, Emple Ghana, Richmond Grant. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. So I'll start with you. So rebranding from Metropolitan to Emple, what's really happening?
Well, it's just a strategic exit of a previous majority shareholder, Metropolitan, exiting Ghana. And, there must be a replacement for the business to continue. Thankfully, they agree with the potential buyer, Emple, Emple Group, which is actually a subsidiary of Everco Industries, which is registered in Mauritius. Emple Group is registered in the UK, and the Pan-African vision is to establish an insurance-based financial services giant of African origin. And so that is the vision of the executive chairman. That is what we are doing, and that is what happened. That occasioned the rebrand. Obviously, as Metropolitan exits, the collaterals must change as well. So that is why we're here.
Interesting. So you're saying that Emple basically parent companies in the UK?
Absolutely. So that's where it's registered. It operates in Nigeria. Ghana currently is preparing to acquire business in Angola as well as Cote d'Ivoire. So it's just made its entry into Ghana by acquiring the majority shares in the Metropolitan entities, life, health, and pensions.
I hope you're planning to make Ghana your official head office for the sub-region.
That is interesting. You're not the first person to mention that. We'll see how that plays out. Yeah. But Ghana is a very convenient location.
Yeah. You speak about your strategic vision for Emple Ghana. Walk us through, really. What's the plan?
Well, the plan is to make us among the top 3 in each of the industries that we play. That is life insurance, health insurance, and pension trust. And our focus is a client-first approach. This transition marks a new chapter in the evolution of the organization, and we're seeking to build on that. Several ways we intend to do that. But first, increasing our footprints. A special focus is on underserved segments of our population, rural, for example. Also to sharpen our focus on our existing clients in terms of refreshing our product portfolio, improving our platforms, client-facing systems, mobile applications. In the area of AI, we want to play at the forefront of technology, and that is one of the things that Emple Group is known for. They are proprietary systems that we're making available to support our service delivery.
All right. Richmond, let me come to you. It's beautiful how you are selling the insurance. It looks all classy and fun, but there are still Ghanaians out there who are skeptical about insurance, really. What would you like to say to them?
Okay, so first of all, I want to say that insurance should not be seen as a cost, but rather an investment in security and peace of mind. And that is what Emple seek to offer. That basically we are offering peace of mind and security to families and businesses against financial uncertainties in the future. So what we're encouraging people to do is that come to us, talk to us. We'll be able to provide you that financial backbone as against your family and your business. And that is what we seek to do.
Amazing.
As Emple. And like I said, we are looking more of security and peace of mind as investment, not as cost to individuals.
Now, some people are maybe concerned, maybe to your already existing customers. Hey, now that you are changing from Metropolitan to Emple, what happens to my existing insurance package? Will I get my money paid? Please, what do you have to say to them?
Nothing has really changed much. You are still seeing the same old faces that has been serving you over the years under Metropolitan. So Emple really, like David said initially, it's all about the change of ownership. And so nothing has really changed. Rather, going forward, what's going to happen is you're going to see more of digital innovation in our approach to business and making sure that we're able to serve you and serve you better under the Emple brand.
Interesting. David, you speak about your parent company now in the UK. So clearly shows that you are financially strong to meet all your obligations, huh?
Obviously. I mean, if you talk to the NIC, that regulates our life business, NHI, that regulates our health business, and NPRA, they'll tell you we meet and in some cases exceed the minimum capital requirements and the capital adequacy ratios. Our track record from Metropolitan to Emple is to toe the right track. We do not compromise on underwriting. We do not cut corners. We ensure that we keep our promises, and we don't make promises that we cannot keep. So that has always been our track record. For that, we stand in a good stead in terms of solvency and capital adequacy to meet all our clients' obligations.
Okay.
And that will not change.
All right, Richmond, how are you planning, or how is Emple planning to differentiate itself from the market? I've heard a lot about IT technological introductions. Tell us about it. What are some of the products you're bringing up?
So basically, we are coming up with new products, and then we're also looking at wider distribution network just to ensure that we reach a lot of people out there. We're also looking at various strategic partnerships on the market just to ensure that we strengthen our partnership with other stakeholders on the market. And so, obviously, Ghanaians are going to see more innovative products on the market, driven by technology.
Wow.
Basically.
So, in layman perspective, how easy are you going to make, for instance, insurance purchasing for a potential Emple customer? Tell us more how you're planning to do that.
You know, now, because of technology, people can sit even in their bedrooms and then purchase things online. And that's exactly what we want to introduce insurance.
Wow.
That you can even sit in your bathroom and then buy insurance online. And all your documents, everything will be delivered to you. So technology is what is going to drive our business going forward.
Will you do that for the claims too, so that I can sit in my house and make the claims?
Even today, people are able to file claims online and they're able to get it, not necessarily coming to our office. So it's something that is happening.
It's something that's happening?
Yeah, it's something that is happening.
That sounds exciting. So what new opportunities are you looking to unlock for your customers and partners?
I think that we have spoken about low insurance penetration for a long time in Ghana. It has been the bane of the regulators and the insurers as well. 32, 34 million Ghanaians, but very few have insurance solutions. And so our focus is to make insurance accessible, decomplicate, if I can use that word, make insurance simple, but easy to purchase, so that everybody must have something. We wish to start even from primary schools, where we teach our children to put something aside against a rainy day. Insurance must become part of life. It must be a matter of default that once you start working, you start saving for your pensions, you start putting aside something for life insurance and the rest. So that is the focus. And top markets, there's a large informal sector in Ghana. We must make products and services that speak to these needs and find tools and platforms that clients and potential clients can interact with. Right. So Richmond spoke about the accessibility of purchasing and managing your own policies. So our new system that is coming up on stream soon will have client portals, broker portals, provider portals when it comes to health insurance, so that members and clients can manage their own policies to a large extent to reduce footprint in our head office and travel time for our members.
Just by listening to, I can glean that what is going to make Emple different is technology. Is that it?
Yes, it's a big pillar on which we thrive.
Oh, you are right, because even those individuals, invited guests that we got at the lunch, they really had a glimpse of our technology going forward with the AI.
Oh, you already have the AI?
Oh, we already have the AI interaction.
Wow.
And at the lunch, it was something that was really showcased.
You displayed it there?
Oh, yes.
Fantastic. Let me just toss in, since you are insurance men, what really is the problem with insurance in Ghana? Why is it so difficult to penetrate the market? What's the problem?
I mean, to some extent, low income levels is a factor. Perhaps the insurance have not been able to develop product that actually resonate with the population of Ghana. Several factors, but as an industry, it is not a secret that we need to do more. We need to do more. So you have conversation around micro insurance solutions. And as income levels rise, as we build a rising middle class, we need to educate more, and the word must go out that insurance, like Richmond said, it's not an expense, it's not a cost, it's a financial protection tool, actually. And so and a lot more has to be done by way of education. But insurers must put a product that resonates with their client today. And when it comes to claims payment, it is the reason why we exist at Emple. I can speak for Emple, and we must delightfully pay the claims as well. As we collect the premiums with smiles, we must pay the claims when the time comes. So that is the focus.
Amazing. Maybe finally from you, informal sector, any plans for that?
Yes, everybody needs insurance. So we're looking at farmers. We're looking at, for example, when it comes to health.
Farmers, right? I'm excited about that.
Yeah. I mean, these are the people who feed us. We just had Farmers Day. There must be something for them. Right. They are not in the formal sector. They don't earn salaries through the banking sector. How do we reach out to them? Maybe through their cooperatives, maybe through those who give them loans. Yeah. So that is an assignment for the entire insurance industry. Okay. My passion is health insurance, and there's a lot we are doing on that side to make sure we bridge the gap.
Fantastic. David Leonard is the Executive Director for Emple Health Insurance Ghana Limited. Also with us was Richmond Grant, Head of Corporate and Alternative Distribution, Emple Ghana. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us in studio.
Pleasure to be here.
You're still watching Business Focus here on TV3. Now, every day people face different emergencies: police emergency, fire emergency, medical emergency, you name it. But many Ghanaians don't know their emergency numbers. Well, here's one you would always want to remember: *770#. Yes, *770# is the new EcoBank Money emergency number. *770# gives you instant access to loans, fund transfers, utility payments, airtime and data purchases, and so much more, even without data. So there's no need for you to panic when you find yourself in any money emergency. EcoBank will always come to your rescue. Dial *770# now for solutions to your money emergencies. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank and proud sponsor of Business Focus, as well as Telecel. And on that note, that'll be all for today's edition of Business Focus. For more business stories, please visit our website. It's 3news.com/business. And a special thank you to all our guests who came through today's on the show. We'll catch you same time next week. My name is Michael Obodu. Thank you for watching. As always, please stay safe.